They should. And you know what? That means a lot to me.
That's all I'm saying. Well, I can't say I leave you because I'm saying my loyalty lies with my brother,
and your brother's loyalty lies with Chris Stokes.
I know it do, but I still got.
And I respect that, and that's I was just calling y'all out of respect. You know what I'm saying? Out of respect. But I tell you,
I'm saying if you wanna, they ain't gonna get in the room and say in front of my mic, he ain't gonna say in front of Michael he did that shit. He ain't gonna say. My dad in the room and y'all in the room and you say that you said this, he ain't gonna say that. He's not gonna say that.
You know what? That's not what I want. But you know what? God is the ultimate revenger. I'm not trying to seek revenge. I'm just like, I'm letting it be known.
Vengeance is the Lord's.
I'm not lying. You know what I'm saying? I'm not lying about a mother thing.
Be home in a minute, Danny. I'll talk to y'all when I get there. Hey, Mario, I'll holler back at you, man.
God bless, Pops.
I want to cry right now. I feel so bad for you. And I feel bad because it was my brother that did it. And you a grown-ass man now. You know the difference between what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. Just like you, I was fucking on these niggas just like everybody else. But when I got this age, I was like, and then I wouldn't allow it to happen anymore, right? So somebody somewhere must like it. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, somebody must like it.
If you continuing with it, and if you continue to fuck with this nigga, you like it.
Yeah, somebody must like it. I tell you, I didn't like it. I tell you, my hurt. I tell you, I don't know what happened. I can't even go back into that mind frame of where I was at because I was 11 and 12 years old. Let me tell you this. The reason why all them getting spiritual and getting into their Bible is because I invited all them to come out to my church. Like I said, I've been filled with the Holy Ghost and speaking in tongues since I was a baby. And Chris was compulsively crying. I'm like, man, I forgive you. He ain't never seen God before. He actually seen God manifest in the flesh through me because I was able to forgive him. But I consider myself to be spiritual. I'm not religious.
Right now, I can't say that I believe anything you say because you know I'm my brother from the jump.
Oh, I know that. That's why.
If my brother did anything to you, I'm sorry for you, and my heart is heavy. Yeah.
And you know what? And I'm not mad at the reason why I'm talking to y'all. I didn't even know I was going to be on the phone talking to y'all. The reason why I'm talking to y'all, my brother put me on the phone, is because I love y'all just like y'all love me. And like I told Brittany, I was like, I don't want to tell you something to you be in denial. And it is what it is. But I feel like Marcus, what happened, where Marcus is at, he doesn't know any better. You get me? So I'm not judging him. I'm judging somebody like Chris Stokes, who's the adult. But you know what? My brother and my family, they're not. Because you know what? I just had a son. If somebody touched my son, I'm sorry. I would have to die for my son. I'm sorry. The Bible says it'd be better if you took a milestone and was thrown in the deepest sea to cause any one of these childs to stumble. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man, so that's why I can tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Because me going on Noah's Ark was an expression of what I've been through. If Jesus was here, Jesus would be he would be here with the ones that are lost, the ones that are sick, the gangsters, the killers, because he'd be trying to heal them. You know what I'm saying? I always told Chris that I was standing in the gap for him. But Chris he leaves me no purpose to stand in the gap for him. He leaves me no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom's over here, the group is back together, and we've all came back together, and we're just moving forward. And I'm not afraid to say anything, and I'm just letting y'all know, my brother is really, really mad, and he just kind of doesn't care, Pops. He's kind of on some suicidal, I don't care about going to jail type shit. And I've been talking to my brother, so I was like, you know what you need to do? You need to reach out to Marcus, you need to reach out to his dad, you need to reach out to them, and we need to come together and see how we can talk about this and maybe cry and pray, and I can let this go before it gets really, really bad. Because, like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, people kind of just don't care.
Yeah.
In order for you to be inside the world or be inside the code or be able to come in the rooms and not even knowing. And that lets me know that, like, I didn't even know what the hell I was doing as a child.
You didn't know him and you just let him?
Basically, it started with Chris Stokes. Like, it started one day with Chris was like, well, let me touch it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, nigga brainwashed. Nigga, I don't.
Did he touch everybody or was it you?
You know what? I can't speak for everybody, but if you want my personal opinion, I think he did. But see, this has been going on. This has been going on before Marcus was like even in the group. With Amani, when my brother was in the group. So I just told my brother like about 2 weeks ago. My brother's like that mad, and I'm like, dude, you need to reach out to everybody's family so this doesn't get nasty. But I'm letting everybody know I have no shame in my game. I'm not gay. I'm a real man. That's why I went on Noah's Ark. You know what I'm saying? If anything, that was an expression of what I've been through.
Recently, the allegations Raz B made against Chris Stokes and Marcus Houston has surfaced. in the midst of this Me Too era. According to Raz B and Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, the Me Too movement is totally hypocritical. They don't show that same concern to protect children for the boys as they do for the girls. And we can see where this whole attitude comes from. Watch this and stay tuned for my commentary.
Music. Ooh, this story right here. Music producer Chris Stokes is responding to fans who called him out about an alleged sex abuse claims made by former artist Raz B. One follower sent Chris a DM accusing him of rape, but his response said, "I have never did anything to Raz B. Those are all lies." All of this stems from a video posted by Raz B over the weekend saying Chris Stokes is trying to keep him from telling his story. Ladies, will this battle on social media solve anything? And have y'all seen the messages?
I haven't seen the messages, but here's the thing, though. When someone finally has the courage to tell their story because for whatever reason it was suppressed inside of them, and they really feel the lack of embarrassment, because embarrassment can stop you from telling your truth because you're wondering what everybody's going to think of you, especially when you've had this ultimate career. And, so things have happened in his life that catapulted him to saying, no, I remember, and I'm no longer embarrassed to tell the situations. And I may not have you all support other band members, but I remember this. So I'm so sure something is going to come out that he gonna come up with some receipts, because here's the thing, he's really going to need them, because nowadays proof is in the pudding for real. So you need something more than just your words and then Chris' words to say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. You know what I mean? You need something. So I'm here for it. I'd love to hear the story. I want to know what really happened.
And I love that Raz B is like, I am not going to apologize for my story. You are not going to bully me. You are not going to make me disappear. This is my story, and I will tell it. I'm not scared of anyone. And I that's courage, because, you have to realize for a young man that, that if it's sexual, that, who's going to come at him or make him feel, inappropriate. Why would you do this? Or does that mean you're this? All the judgment that comes down on that, instead of understanding, because that's what's needed more than anything else, is understanding that it happened. If it happened, let him get his therapy or whatever help that is that he needed. Let him face his truth. Let him have his truth.
Yeah.
And people are so mean when it's a man that comes.
Yes.
They're mean to women too, especially if it's a Black woman. Why you take so long? And if he's famous, you're just a gold digging bitch. And for a man to come out and say what he said, a man telling you, talking about being raped, is, whether you believe it or you don't, that is his story. And to say that, and the ridicule, the way that people want to slap you're just gay, or you're just this, and diminish the story. Yeah. He was on the verge of suicide at one point. He was so depressed. He left the country. Something's obviously going on with him, and I hope he gets help. I really do. Raz B is a sweetheart.
He is. And do you remember that they did the tour? They started the tour, and I think he showed up, or showed up, and he was like, I quit. That was part of my deal. Like, he's been solid with his conviction of his experience. So it's like, at some point, y'all, somebody ain't lying. That if he keeps on having this reaction and the same story is told.
It's like seeing your predator, and when you finally see him, you get nervous again, like, oh my God, I don't have to go through this. Right. So you're torn, and you're fighting with yourself on the inside and outside. Nobody should go through that.
Selena,
we've been hearing this story for a long time, right? Like, we've been hearing this story ever since they broke up. And so what I'm wondering is, what is it for him? I mean, other than the obvious, but what is it for him, for Raz B, to get this out? Is it justice? Is it you want them to go to jail? Because I saw like a video where he was like, you're going to do this bid. Does he want them to go to jail? What needs to, I'm just trying to figure out what is the angle in this respect. Like, if they've already been to court, have they been to court? Like,
I don't know if it's like, evidently it must be something, because at this point, if they had been to court, there would have been a cease and desist. You know what I mean? They would have been like, okay, we're settled. This matter's settled. Don't keep talking about this. So maybe that's the reason behind him continually talking about it, that he needs closure.
I think it's obvious how different that conversation would have went if it was a female making the accusation. We saw how quickly this accusation thing went with R. Kelly, and how Raspy tried to reach out to Lifetime for his surviving Chris Stokes. They shut the door straight in his face, not interested. And we see why. Even though we're sympathetic to the boys, they're definitely not giving Chris Stokes the same energy these people have given R. Kelly. Even when it comes to this girl Marcus Houston recently married, who it's been said he was dating since she was 17, doesn't interest these people in the industry, even though that was the main theme for the people over at Surviving R. Kelly. So why can't they get a Surviving Chris? It's very obvious something did happen to Raz
Years
B.
later, you come forward with some pretty serious accusations about Chris Stokes. Mm-hmm. And then just a bunch of just crazy behavior. Like he almost loses his thumb at one point. And he's in China. Yeah. And it's just like really just a very... Someone that seems to be struggling with mental issues is what it appears to me from the outside looking in.
Yes.
As you're going about your life and doing this, and this guy who's connected to you is doing all this crazy stuff on the internet, how are you reacting to it?
I mean, there was definitely moments where I was just really pissed off. I was like so upset, you know what I'm saying? But now in my maturity and really understanding, you know, where he's at, I understand more. I understand better. So, yeah, I kind of let all that stuff go.
With the Chris Stokes allegations.
Yes.
What is your take on that?
In reference to what?
Well, I mean, he claimed that he was molested by Chris Stokes and everything else like that.
Right.
It's always been denied by all the other parties involved. There was never any proof, but he kept saying it over and over again.
Well, yeah, I definitely think something happened to him.
I have been walking in my purpose lately and understand my responsibility with Hollywood Unlocked is much greater than the tea and always, spilling everybody's tea. My purpose is to be able to shed light on real conversations. We pivoted at my show sometime last year to bring you real issues, real conversations, and still have the wildness that we do. But I just got off the phone with Fox Soul, who you know airs our show. And tonight we were airing Raz B's show, where he outlines in a very important way the alleged sexual abuse that he's endured as a victim of sex violence from family members and people around him, and as an artist in B2K and as an individual in this world. I think oftentimes Raz B has been a headline, and he admitted in the interview to drug abuse and to alcoholism, but it was a very humbling conversation where he was talking about being raped as a kid. And I just got off the phone with Fox Soul, and they're telling me that there are people who allegedly victimized him that have sent a cease and desist letter claiming that they were going to sue the network if they aired it. Let me just say this. I don't run from bullies. I'm not afraid of bullies. And I'm not going to be complicit in re-victimizing somebody who's alleging to be raped or somebody who is wanting to have their voice heard. This has happened to women time and time again. When you see the Me Too movement, when you see the Time's Up movement, men, powerful men, people with money shutting down victims. And so I've said to the network, and I will say to the people who allegedly victimized Raz, you can sue, you can threaten, you can harass, you can do whatever you want to silence Raz B, but you will not do that with Hollywood Unlocked. You will not do that with me. So tonight, the show will not be airing. We're going to air a different show, and I ask everybody to tune into Fox Soul to watch that show. But I give you my word, I give you my commitment. There will be lots of conversations with attorneys, and if I got to call the FB motherfucking I and the police and the District Attorney of Los Angeles myself, that show will air. And any person who is a victim of rape or molest or in any other form of attack on them as a child or as an adult who chooses to come to Hollywood Unlocked to have their story shared with the world, they will have that story aired. And if you want to sue me, I will subpoena you. I will subpoena everybody there, and I will depose you. And I will sit down and ask you questions. I will ask Raz-B to describe your genitalia. I will ask Raz-B to tell me what your dick looks like, the dick that you put in him. I will ask him and every other member of B2K and anybody else associated with that group or that time period to come forward and have a conversation about why you allegedly, and I say allegedly loosely, fucked a little boy. And so I'm really pissed right now and don't really have all the answers. And I'm not going to name any names here because I don't want to get sued, apparently. But what I will do is commit to the full resource of contacting all of my legal team and Fox Network to air that episode that should be airing tonight, but understandably won't be because of concerns over the threats of lawsuits. I will also be getting a copy of the cease and desist letter, and I will be airing that cease and desist letter. So to the audience who has grown with Hollywood Unlocked and appreciates my full transparency, best believe I'm doing my best and my due diligence. And to Raz, I'm doing my part to make sure that your voices continue to be elevated. And I ask everybody to support Raz and support Foxhole and Hollywood Unlocked as we wait.
Check this shit out. So I've been getting a bunch of calls from my loved ones, people that support me. And they're like, take this down, deal with this privately. But I say, yo, they've ruined me publicly. They've tried to smear my testimony, got people thinking that I'm gay, and I'm not because I was molested by a pedophile. So this is how we do this. Since y'all want to try to shut me down publicly with sending out cease and desist letters, let's get in the room with the lawyers and let's take a polygraph test. I'm going to take the test, and when I take the test, you can do whatever it is that you need to do. When you take it, and when you fail, you take this fade, and you take that bit. Because I'm tired of being bullied, and I'm not going to be bullied no more.
The nerve of these people. They wouldn't air the episode about Raz-B, but they would sit there on a panel and talk about him with such expressionless facial expressions. That's very interesting. What do you think about this surviving Chris Stokes thing and this allegation that has gone unchecked for so long? How about these women sitting on this panel refusing to air the episode that was prepared for Raz-B, but would talk about it with such expressionless faces? What do you think about Selena Johnson, who agreed to mute R. Kelly, but is sitting there asking what is Raz-B's purpose in speaking out, even though he has spoken out for such a long time on deaf ears? Leave your comments below. Make sure you like and share this video.